In the dead of winter, in 1959, a group of experienced hikers embarked on a trek through the Ural Mountains in Russia. They were young, skilled, and well prepared for the brutal weather that awaited them in Dyatlov Pass. But days later, when they failed to return, search parties set out to find them, stumbling upon a scene far more chilling than anyone had expected. The hikers' tent lay torn open from the inside, abandoned. Their belongings were scattered, as if they'd left in a panic. Following tracks through the snow, searchers found the hikers' bodies spread across the mountainside, some lying barefoot in the snow, others stripped of their clothing despite the freezing temperatures. Stranger still were the injuries. Some of the hikers had crushed ribs and fractured skulls, yet there were no external wounds, no signs of a struggle. One woman was found with her tongue missing, her eyes gone, her face frozen in terror. Despite multiple investigations, no official cause could explain the terror that drove them out of their tent or the brutal injuries they sustained. Theories have ranged from infrasound waves that can cause intense feelings of fear to classified military testing that accidentally harmed the hikers. But none of these theories fully explain the horror the group faced, the sheer volume of the injuries that remained hidden beneath the skin. Was it an avalanche, an attack, or something supernatural lurking in the dark forests? To this day, the Dyatlov Pass incident remains one of history's most terrifying mysteries, a ghostly reminder that some questions may never find answers. And yet, Dyatlov Pass isn't the only remote place to conceal a dark secret. Thousands of miles away, in a dark farmhouse on the outskirts of Munich, Germany, another story occurred. It's 1922, and the family at Hinterkaifeck is known for keeping to themselves. But neighbors grow uneasy when they stop seeing them altogether. Days pass, then weeks. Eventually, a concerned friend heads to the Hinterkaifeck farm, where he finds the entire Gruber family, 6 people in all, horrifically murdered. Investigators arrive and begin piecing together the scene, which only raises more questions. Someone had entered the farmhouse and brutally killed each member of the family. But this wasn't just any violent attack. Footprints led to the farmhouse, but never away, as if the killer vanished into thin air. And eerie as it sounds, neighbors had reported strange noises and flickering lights in the attic for weeks before the murders, as though someone had been watching the family from the shadows. Even creepier, an axe that matched the murder weapon was found in the home, hidden away, as if waiting to be discovered. Stranger still, the family's maid had quit shortly before the murders, claiming that the house was haunted, plagued by mysterious sounds she could never explain. It was as if some dark presence had already been lurking there, preparing the farmhouse for what was to come. Most disturbing of all, whoever had killed the Grubers hadn't left immediately. They'd stayed at the farm, taking care of the animals and living among the bodies as if nothing had happened. Despite an exhaustive investigation, the killer was never found. The Hinterkaifeck murders remained a haunting mystery, a story that lingers like a shadow over the farm's remains. Yet some mysteries defy even the boundaries of life and death. In the hills of Brazil, in 1966, 2 men were found dead on a lonely mountaintop, leaving behind only questions. They were both lying on their backs, dressed in formal suits, and wearing strange lead masks that obscure their faces. By their sides were water bottles, along with a cryptic note containing instructions that read more like a ritual. Be at the specified place, 4:30. Swallow capsules, await signal, mask. Authorities struggled to make sense of the bizarre scene. Why were they there? Why the lead masks? Local residents reported strange lights hovering over the hills that night, fueling theories of extraterrestrial involvement. Others pointed to rumors of a cult that dabbled in the paranormal. Some even speculated that the men were attempting to contact the spirit world or travel beyond it. But if they were awaiting some cosmic signal, it never came. The lack of forensic evidence, the silence from their families, and the cryptic note left alongside them only deepened the mystery. A detective working the case remarked that there were no signs of distress or physical violence, almost as if they had calmly prepared themselves for whatever was to come. The lead masks case has puzzled investigators, scientists, and paranormal enthusiasts alike for decades, with each new theory only adding to the mystery. No one has ever uncovered the truth of what drew these men to their deaths on that mountain, leaving behind only silence and an unshakable sense of dread. Silence and mystery were no strangers to the small town of Fayetteville, West Virginia, where the Sauter family tragedy took place. It was Christmas Eve, 1945, when George and Jenny Sauter put their 9 children to bed, the warmth of the holiday filling their home. But just hours later, their house went up in flames. George, Jenny, and 4 of their children escaped the inferno, but the other 5 children, their youngest, were nowhere to be found. As the fire department extinguished the flames, the Sauters searched the ashes, desperate to find any trace of their missing children, but there were no remains. Not a single bone, no trace of clothing or flesh. In the days that followed, strange clues surfaced. Sightings of the children miles away, mysterious phone calls, and a strange man who had threatened George months prior. Determined to find answers, the Sauters pursued every lead, but each one ended in dead ends and questions that haunted them for the rest of their lives. Some whispered about a sinister plot to kidnap the Sauter children, while others suggested an elaborate government cover-up. To this day, the disappearance of the Sauter children remains one of America's darkest unsolved mysteries, a story that left a grieving family searching for answers that would never come. Not all disappearances are swift and silent. Some play out in plain view, like the tale of the Mary Celeste, a ship that set sail from New York in 1872 bound for Italy. On board was Captain Benjamin Briggs, his wife, their young daughter, and a small, capable crew. But weeks later, a passing vessel spotted the Mary Celeste drifting through the Atlantic, abandoned. When the crew boarded her, they found the ship intact, its cargo untouched, the galley stocked with food and water. The crew's belongings remained neatly packed, as if they just stepped away. The lifeboat was missing. There was no sign of a struggle, and the ship's logbook revealed nothing unusual. It was as if the crew had simply vanished into thin air, leaving behind only questions. Rumors swirled. Pirate attacks, mutiny, natural disasters. Some claimed they'd been swept away by a rogue wave. Others said a giant sea creature had attacked. Some even suggested supernatural forces had spirited them away. Despite countless investigations, each theory only leads to more questions. Why would a captain as experienced as Briggs abandon his ship in perfect condition? Why leave behind valuables, essential supplies, and food? To this day, no one can explain the chilling silence that haunted the ship and her vanished crew. While the Mary Celeste may have drifted through the open seas without a trace of her crew, some mysteries come ashore. The Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles has become one such place, a structure with a sinister past, housing countless tales of despair and death. But in 2013, a news story emerged from its haunted halls: the disappearance and death of Elisa Lam, a 21-year-old Canadian student visiting Los Angeles. She'd checked into the Cecil Hotel, a place infamous for its dark history, known for attracting troubled souls, mysterious deaths, and violent crimes. The hotel's chilling legacy was unsettling enough, but what happened to Elisa became a modern-day horror story that even seasoned investigators couldn't fully explain. Elisa's last known movements were captured on the hotel's surveillance cameras. In the footage, she is seen acting erratically in the hotel elevator, as if hiding from something or someone unseen. She presses multiple floor buttons, moves in and out of the elevator, and, at times, appears to speak to an unseen figure outside the doors. Her strange behavior left viewers both horrified and puzzled. Was she being followed, or was she in the grip of something more sinister? Weeks after her disappearance, hotel guests began complaining about strange-tasting discolored water and low water pressure. Maintenance workers investigated and discovered Elisa's body in one of the rooftop water tanks. How she got there remains one of the most disturbing aspects of the case. The tank's lid was reportedly closed, and there was no clear way she could have entered without setting off alarms or bypassing the hotel's locked and alarmed rooftop door. Authorities ruled her death an accidental drowning, but the circumstances surrounding her death only raised more questions. Elisa was found naked in the tank, her clothes floating beside her, yet there were no signs of physical trauma or struggle. And while the coroner attributed her behavior to a possible psychotic episode, the CCTV footage hints at something much stranger, almost otherworldly. Theories quickly surfaced, and some pointed to the Cecil Hotel's infamous past as a possible explanation. Known for housing serial killers like Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, and Jack Unterweger, the hotel's halls have long been steeped in violence and mystery. Many believe the hotel itself is cursed. Adding to the mystery, online sleuths uncovered unsettling connections, including parallels with a horror movie released just before her death. In this film, a young woman dies under similar circumstances in a hotel water tank, leaving viewers to wonder if Elisa's fate was an eerie coincidence or something even stranger. A case of life imitating art, or something darker taking hold in the shadows of the Cecil. The mysteries surrounding the Mary Celeste, the Sauter children, the lead-masked men, the Hinterkaifeck murders, and the Dyatlov past have haunted the world for generations. Each one a story of unanswered questions, each more chilling than the last. For those who seek answers, each mystery holds a silent warning. Some things are better left unsolved, and some stories are meant to remain in the shadows, because in the face of these mysteries, we are forced to confront the unknown, to acknowledge the power of forces we may never understand. Perhaps it's that hint of something darker, something just beyond reach, that makes these stories so unforgettable.